Hi everyone, I'm Mr. Recaped. Today I'm going to tell you another horrible story. This story can be called sad and tragic rather than scary. However, a certain element of horror and it is present, of course, because all directors of horror films adore a doll. The episode begins with some very sad shots. A little boy lying in a coffin, and we hear a man asking for the deceased's clothes, a lock of hair, and a thing that was dear to him. When the mother asks if everything will really work, the man replies that no one has yet asked for a refund for the service he rendered. The lid of the coffin closes, and a few seconds later we see the doll lying in the box. The doll is a very rough reproduction of the boy's facial features. The puppet maker invites the mother to look at his new creation. However, the father is more skeptical of what is going on and claims that it is just a stupid doll for a huge amount of money. But the woman holds out her hands anyway and pulls the doll out of the box. In indescribable delight, she begins to hug and kiss the child returned from the afterlife. But the boy's father still sees only the doll. After receiving half the money, the master warns that they must now adhere to certain rules, a sort of instruction manual for this boy. Walking around the room, he explains that he has put special signs in the room that concentrate the energy left over from the previous occupant and channel it back into our world through the doll. So while the doll is in the house, it looks and behaves like a person. However, as soon as you go out, and the doll turns back into a rag toy. But that's not all. The puppet master gives the couple an hourglass and warns that they can spend with their son exactly as much time as they want. The hourglass will go from one part to the other. Then the doll must be put back in the box. When asked why, the master answers that his creation is akin to a drug. It is fun to use, but dangerous to abuse, and violation of the prohibition will lead to the fact that parents will cease to perceive the received object as a doll. Their memory will gradually erase the death, the funeral, the address to the master. They will live a lie sincerely believing that the doll is their real son and gradually go mad. As the master utters his tirade in the glass of the hourglass, it is as if we see a reflection of further events. Of course, breaking all the rules, the woman forgot about the hourglass and began to spend more time with the doll than allowed, despite the protests of her husband, who realized that there was something wrong with his wife. The woman stubbornly refuses to put the doll in the box, and after a quarrel breaks the hourglass. After a while, we see how the woman, who has lost her mind, feeds the doll with porridge, smearing food on the doll's face. Once again, the husband comes home and sees mountains of filthy cold and general desolation reigning in the house. As the conversation begins, he asks his wife to put the doll in a box, but she stubbornly refuses. Losing his temper, the man grabs her by the arm and drags her out into the street to show her what she is really carrying all day. And here comes the eerie denouement. The man turns around and sees not his wife's face on the doll's head. In bewilderment, he puts his hands down, and we see the mother and son dolls fall to the ground. What happened? It turns out that the boy's mother also died and was returned to our world in the form of a doll. The protagonist is swept away by a wave of memories. It turns out that, fearing for his wife's condition, he decided to hide the doll in a safe place. However, this decision turned out to be even more tragic. The woman took her own life. The grief-stricken husband once again turns to the services of a puppet maker. But when the camera covers the interior of the room, we see that among other things on the table there is already the second broken hourglass. In other words, the main character made the same mistake as his spouse, couldn't control himself, and ended up breaking the rules by spending too much time with the doll. What would you have done in his place? If the story seemed creepy to you, please like and subscribe to the channel. Good luck to all, and see you soon.